On my like lowest channel, like I have 33 subscribers. I think I actually lost a few subscribers. You don't have two phones? You don't have like an old phone like you do? Like I have two old phones. That's why I never. That's why I never freaking I never turn my phone. I just keep it. I I know you have like an iPad. You need like an actual phone that works better than an iPad. 1911 gold plated. Hell yeah. I'll check it out. It's just some 9 milli. Reloading 9 milli. Oh, that's gay, dude. I know. I'm on my work phone right now.
That's funny. Yeah, you're the only one. I've been going for 5 minutes. You're the first person who said anything, Goose. Oh. Oh, goodness. So much stuff. I don't even know what's going on. Let me pull up my Google News. What I'll do is I'll read. Oh. That's not very exciting. One biggie, what's going on, man? I thought if I went live, I've had success in the past going live in the middle of the day. But my live streams just have not been doing very well. And wonder if people are just not liking the channel or what's going on there. So I've probably offended one too many people So now it's just going to be growth via content for the next little bit is what I'm thinking. Hey Bacon, what's going on, man? Welcome. It's small crew this afternoon.
Yeah.
Trying to Hey Jesus, what's going on? Now people are starting to stroll in. Well, it's Monday. I went to the dentist. I have 4 cavities. I actually, two of them I was aware of. I've had them for like 6 years and they haven't really grown. I guess they started growing again. Dude, my teeth, since I went on that deployment to Qatar, my teeth have not been doing great. I know I drink a lot of soda, but again, it's sugar-free soda. I have really good toothpaste. I have a really good toothbrush. So yeah. Dude, I didn't for like 7 years. I had no cavities. Then all of a sudden, like 2 years in a row now, I've gotten like 4. I had 4 when I came back from Qatar, and I have 4 now. So that's not bad. I guess they've got this new stuff that you can use that they're gonna do. It's not covered by insurance, but it repairs teeth without having to do fillings. So 2 of my cavities are gonna be that, and 2 of them are gonna be fillings. But I see that there's some information. Oh, I'm sure that I have. My video about the bear would have helped. That's offended some people. I've had plenty of people. Plenty of people are commenting saying like, men have always been this way, because like in the video, some chick is doing deadlifts or whatever, and she's doing pretty high amount, and then she falls, and it doesn't hurt her, but it knocks her back, and you can see she's okay. Doesn't like land on her face or anything. It lands above her chest. So I'm sure it scared the crap out of her, but she's okay. And there's a guy who just kind of looks over and then keeps lifting his set. And there are people that are commenting like, "This is why women choose the bear. This is why." And it's like, no. Dudes don't help, because dudes have been accused of so much crap that we're desensitized to it. You want to be independent? Fine. We'll let you be independent. Go for it. Go be independent. You don't need me to save you. So I thought it was a funny video. But apparently it struck a few chords. But I saw that they released the name of the suspect in Idaho. There's some people that are saying that they think that it's a false flag, that the name and the picture that they're releasing is not who it actually was. I don't know about that. If they found his body there with the gun, then I think that's what it is. But what I want to talk about more than anything is what's going on in Washington and the absolute joke that the Republicans are making of themselves when it comes to gun rights. So, for those of you that have been following it, and for those of you that haven't, the Hearing Protection Act and the Short Act, which took suppressors and short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, and any other weapons off of the NFA. It stripped them from the NFA, and it defined them as arms, which is protected under the Second Amendment. Because right now, short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, any other weapons and suppressors are not protected by the Second Amendment because they're not considered arms, even though some of them are literally just shorter versions of regular guns. So, the Senate parliamentarian rejected all of the verbiage from those acts, saying that those were policy matters, even though what they were doing is they were removing the verbiage was to remove them from the NFA and therefore remove the tax requirement by removing them from the NFA. Well, now they've been put back into the verbiage, and they're still on the NFA registry, which is stupid, but they don't require a $200 tax stamp. And that looks like it's been approved. The concern with that is that it's still an illegal registry of firearms. It still doesn't define short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, any other weapons and suppressors as arms protected by the Second Amendment. What it does is it gives an avenue now for liberals to, I don't even say Democrats and conservatives anymore because, or Democrats and Republicans, because there are just as many Republicans that do not care about this. If they cared more about it, the majority in the Senate and the Congress would have done away with this and would have gotten rid of this parliamentarian, and we would have moved forward with the original verbiage. That's not what's happening. Take a stance. You were voted into office under conservative auspices. Take a stance. So, the liberals, there's nothing to stop the liberals. Now that they've removed the $200 tax stamp, there's nothing to stop them from presenting legislation that increases it from $0 to like $5,000. So it is absolutely imperative that those items be completely removed from the NFA. They have to be removed from the NFA, or they have to do away with the parliamentarian. They have to go back to the original verbiage of the Short Act, which makes it law that they are defined as arms protected by the Second Amendment and are no longer subject to the NFA. That's not going to happen as long as she's there. So it is any Republican who's saying this is an absolute win. This is not. This is not a win. In fact, this is, in some ways, this is worse than a win. Correct. There's nothing to stop our side except that we have to rely on the Republicans to do it, and they're not going to, because they're a bunch of spineless hacks. So, I used to have zero faith. I have no faith in the Republicans anymore. If they accomplish something, then it's kind of like, that's awesome. Thank you for accomplishing something that is conservative, that supports why I voted you into office. But I have come to the conclusion, and I am at the decision-making point that I just don't expect anything from any Republicans. I know that the Democrats and the liberals are completely opposed to me. It's just, yeah. Are if they don't do exactly what you're saying, Gun, if they do not go after the NFA in its entirety, if they do not go after the NFA in its entirety, this is opening the door for all of our rights. Like, that's the problem. This is opening the door for it to get so much worse, and for us to lose rights even more and more easily than we already have. So, GC is intentionally tied to NFA. It's gone to without the hassle of the fight. Yeah. Yeah. If they want to, like, that's the thing. If they want to make a federal license, if the Democrats are so, if liberals and Republicans, Democrats, yeah, I talked a little bit about it. It looks like it was some kid. Some people are like, this seems off. It seems like a false flag, and I'm going, I mean, if this is the body of the person that was next to the gun, unless there's another dude out there, I'm gonna go with it's probably this kid who was trying to make a name for himself. But yeah, if they feel like there is a need for tracking of some kind, who's allowed to buy those items, like, it's never, to me, it's never been about the tax stamp. It's been about the restriction. Now, if you want to say you have to have a license to buy it instead of a tax stamp, it's basically the same thing. As long as I do not have to be registered. But that's why I've said from the beginning the Supreme Court needs to be involved in this. The Supreme Court needs to be asked to define explicitly what is an arm. There's already definitions that are out there, but everybody stays away from it. Nobody wants to go after it. Yeah, people love their conspiracy theories. Yeah, that's what I mean. What I don't like is that there's a public registry that's out there that anyone can access, and they could look up and see exactly who has Type 1 tax forms for any Form 1 item, and then have their addresses. And so now the government and anybody who's interested has a list of anyone that has that item, and they can say, oh, this person has this, which means they must have other guns, or it can be assumed that they have guns. Let's go collect all their guns. Ugh. Oh my heck, I am yawning so much. I don't know why I'm so tired. Oh wait, yes I do. It's because I didn't fall asleep till almost 2 a.m. Yeah, anybody who's in the military or work for the government, your DNA and your fingerprints are, they're not a secret. Man. Yeah, I went through, you weren't here this morning when I read it. I read some of the comments. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get some people, man. I understand appreciating a perspective, but like, oh, I don't like him. Like, I am so tired of people. Like, no, I saw. It was very, I think it was wise. Like, it's just one of those things where I wasn't here, so I think that other dude was being loud about it. And that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just get really tired of just the this guy's fake. Like, guys, I don't know how else to show you that I am not fake when it comes to this stuff. Nobody else puts out content or does live streams talking about the laws, talks about, hey, Mike G, what's going on, buddy? Like, yeah. Dude, good choice, Mike. Yeah. Yeah, I was reading through stuff. It boggles my mind. You know, I've said from the beginning, like, I like guns. In fact, I love owning guns and shooting guns and everything. But my channel isn't about guns. It's about me being a dad. It's about Second Amendment advocacy. It's about being a regular person. I love answering questions, but it's about making people laugh. It's about helping to educate people. Yeah. Yeah, me too. All of my Red Riders behind me. No, I got you, Mike. Just there have been people, like, my streams have been lower than what they've. My live streams have been very low lately, and I believe that there's some commentary going on amongst in other streams where I think that there's some talk about me not being a real gun guy, and it was brought up a little over a month and a half ago by someone. About 45 days ago it was brought up by someone, and it's just kind of increased since that person said something. And frankly, that's fine. It just, you know, just is what it is. Riley, do you have a city thing today?
The city thing today?
Do you have anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
I just saw you were wearing your purple shirt, so I wasn't sure.
No, that's because after the hike, I didn't want to stay in my sweaty shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there have been a couple times when I've gotten like 10,000 views on a live stream and we've had like 150 people in here. But it is what it is. So I'm gonna keep doing what I do, and there are gonna be people that continue to say that I'm not the same as them, and that's fine. Yeah. I can promise that I am more in the weeds with my different types of social media that I have, with the communication that I have, the people that I interact with, and the information that I give and take as it relates to your ability and rights to own firearms and the expansion or contraction of the Second Amendment than most other dudes. I'm not going to tell you what gun to buy. That's why I always tell people, look, I'm not going to tell you what gun to buy. Go buy the one that you feel comfortable shooting. Go buy the one that you're going to shoot more often than others. Go buy the one that you have the most experience with. And anyone who says that you need to buy this gun or this gun or this gun without knowing whether or not you have experience in it, anyone who says that, hey, how are you, bud? How are you doing? I saw your message on the stream earlier today, right before I shut it off. So I just wanted to make sure that you were doing okay. I know we got a little, it got a little deep last night. But oh, 100%. You know, that's why I tell people, like, I think it's good to learn how to shoot. That's why when I've had people say, well, what's your 10-10-10 drill? For those of you that don't know what a 10-10-10 drill, it's 10 rounds at 10 yards in 10 seconds. I'm glad you're doing all right. I'm glad you're doing all right. Average. Like I said, I know that we sometimes get into deep topics, but I'd much rather just talk and shoot the breeze and have a good time, or talk about a current subject or a current type of gun or build. Like, I like doing that, but and answering questions. But when when the streams are smaller, then we get a little deeper. But yeah, it's like, okay, so take this book. Anybody who I've had people say, oh, well, what is your 10-10-10? So 10 rounds, 10 yards, 10 seconds. I understand the purpose of a 10-10-10 drill, or a Mozambique drill, or many of other drills and the utilitarian advantage of shooting in an outdoor range versus an indoor range. I fully appreciate that. But this is the size of my head. All right? I don't need to have the accuracy to hit. Like, it's cool if I have it, but I'm not going to tell somebody that they're wrong at 10 yards, 10 rounds in 10 seconds if they're outside of that size. I would rather someone be able to, in 15 seconds or 20 seconds, all right, put rounds in the size of a t-shirt and get all 15 rounds in that amount of time in the t-shirt than 10 rounds in 10 seconds at 10 yards inside of a book. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but like, if you ever have to be in a shooting situation, you're not going to be like, you're not going to be wearing a plate carrier out on a date with your wife. Like, that's the thing. If you're out on a date or you're out with your kids, you're out doing something, you're not dressing like a cop unless you're a cop, okay? You're going to be wearing, you might have a backpack, okay? You might have a backpack with a plate in it, or even a plate carrier that you could flip over if you needed to, but you're probably not, all right? Some dudes might have an in-the-waistband holster with a spot for one magazine. I don't. I have one holster that carries my compact dagger, my Glock 19 clone. And then I put my other two mags in my front pocket. And I've had people say, well, that's not very tactical. I'm like, I don't need to be tactical. I'm not trying to look like a gray man. I'm not trying to look like a dude who has a gun, who's trying not to let anybody see that I have a gun, but trying not to look like I have a gun. I just want to look like an everyday guy. I wear a stupid orange hat. I don't wear a SIG hat. I don't wear an American flag hat. I sometimes wear an Under Armour hat. Okay? I wear this because most of the time when people see this, they're like, "What if that's some FUD dude? He's probably a lame-o." Or, who is that old guy? What's his problem? Why is he wearing a stupid hunting hat? Like, they think, oh, that's probably one of those dudes that goes hunting and just, like, talks about guns, doesn't actually know anything about it. Okay, that's fine. I love it. People that, where's my, my gray bag's upstairs. You know, you guys have seen my black bag. You guys have seen my black bag? Yeah. Jeans and a t-shirt. Sometimes I wear a dress shirt that's unbuttoned. I work in an office. Sometimes I wear khakis. Yeah, my man purse. And everybody's like, everybody knows what that is. I'm like, everybody in my stream knows what it is because everybody in my stream fucking does guns. Of course they know what it is. But when I'm at the grocery store, I guarantee you 85% of the people there don't know what it is. And the 15% of the people that do, they don't care. They know what it is and they're going, oh, that's cool. Yeah. They really don't. They really don't. So, now, if you have one that's camo and has a bunch of Molly straps on it and it's got like a freaking Velcro morale patch right there in the middle that says fuck around, find out. Exactly. I think you posted that exactly as I was talking about it. Oh, good. So, how many of you, when you guys have your knife, okay, All right? I don't care what your knife is. How many of you carry your knife? Okay. This is a big deal for me because this is something that I look for. This is something I look for. How many of you carry your knife like this? All right? I know it sounds dumb, but when I see somebody carrying my knife like this, I'm like, okay, they've got a knife, they have it there. I'm sure that they don't mean any harm by it, but I always assume if their knife is like that they have something that is easy to get to and is quick release, or is some kind of like EDC knife that's intended for that. I don't do that. I put mine in my pocket. It's just down there. If I need to get my knife for some reason or another, I guarantee you, because I carry a gun, I'm not going to get into a knife fight with somebody. If there's a situation where I need like my knife, it's going to be to cut something that I need to cut. So it doesn't matter if it's in like easy access. Ugh. I don't need it like this, like, yeah. Okay. Watch out. I'm not saying that you have to carry it like me. I'm just saying if you're trying not to raise any attention, don't have stuff out that people might recognize or see. I used to wear my Below Average Utah Dad t-shirt with the logo. I don't very often wear that anymore. Agreed. I'll agree with that, Gunshots. Hey, Gunner. How are things there in the AZ, in Pima? You been called out to McGeeville yet? Gunner? Man, I don't know what I did to my thumb. But it is like sore. Like I smashed it or something. Yeah, I mean, I used to carry... So I used to carry this knife. It was just a cheap kind of knockoff buck knife. I used to carry this knife. It's reasonably sharp right now. And then my father-in-law got me this knife, so then I carried this knife. I just like this knife because it's a cool looking, carbon steel Damascus blade knife. So I carried this knife for a long time. And then I got my Benchmade. My unit issued us Benchmades. And I will completely admit, this is probably the nicest knife I've ever owned. This Benchmade. It's sharp. I don't like that it's serrated. I wish it was a straight blade the whole time. I don't like serrated blades. I like just blades. But it's a very well made practical carry knife. But like I said, I might go back. I might go back to this one. It's a good knife. And if you can find, there's a couple of guys that I follow and that follow me, that do knife reviews, and they review like some of the inexpensive eBay and Amazon knives that are out there. Somebody that does a pretty good job of reviewing them is Wrangler Star. Wrangler Star is not afraid to go out and like buy something cheap off of Amazon and be like, yeah, so I got this on Amazon for like $15. This is amazing. Yeah, that's my thing, is I don't want to lose it. Like when I'm out hiking, I usually use this one. I don't even remember where I got this knife, but I've got a little, this is like my camping knife. It's got a little leather holster that I put on it. Just goes on my belt. It's just a small little fixed blade, full tang. The reason I have this is because I know, because this is D2 steel, this is going to be really strong. It's going to take an absolute beating. And if I need to like cut a tree, like in a survival situation, I can grab a club and I can use this. And I can whack away at this and I can beat the living snot out of it. I've gone through like 3 of these types of knives, and absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth having just a good, low cost. This one's made in the USA. I don't think it matters if it's made in the USA. Yeah, I've heard some horror stories about relying on K-bars for survival situations. As a fighting knife, it's amazing. As a survival knife, probably not the bestest decision. So, yeah, I think knives have a time and a place. I actually think this SOG knife might be full tang. I don't know. It's just got kind of a funky. I don't know on this, the SOG knife. It looks like it might be full tang, but the rubber wraps all the way around the tang on the handle. And it's a pretty comfy handle. I need to Google it. Maybe I should reach out to one of my knife buddies and do a thing. 5150, don't you make knives? Or you do reviews on knives? Somebody did, I thought. I do. Oh yeah, I was talking to Bo earlier. Bo Bickley. Okay, I couldn't remember. Somebody that I've talked to does knife reviews or makes knives. I just can't remember. Hugh. I'm getting there. I'm trying to find this knife on SOG's website. So, so obviously you guys know how I feel about SIG as a company. When it comes to their guns, even the SIG P320, I think for the most part is probably a fairly reliable weapon. I don't know that I would still want to own one. It wouldn't be my first choice. But I've heard good things about the 365. I've seen their new 365, which looks kind of like a hybrid between the 320 and the regular 365. So I think if you wanted to go with the 365, I think if you wanted to go with the 365, I think that would be perfectly fine. I know that Casual Mechanic here on the channel, he has like 5 365s. He's a 365 guy. I carry 2 average. I carry 2. Yeah, I have 2 mags right here. I carry 2 17-round Glock mags. I just carry them in my pocket. I don't have a fancy, double mag or extra mag holster. I just carry them in my pocket and I throw my wallet next to it because it doesn't look like anything. Who makes SOG? How often do you change your ammo? I change my ammo when I go to the range. I change my ammo out when I go to the range. And then I put my ammo back in the same order that it was in. Average 5150. 17 round mag plus 5. $51.50. When you say 17 round mag plus 5. I travel with an AR. When I go long distance, I'll travel with my AR. I usually have like 3 or 4 guns. I mean, gunshots, if you ever need one of your old Colts to just like get cared for and used, you know, I know a guy. He might do some goofy shit with it, but I do know a guy. I mean, there's always somebody who knows a guy. So, anyways, that's my take on knives for. I've been thinking about it. Oh yeah, I don't do the plus 5. I just have the 2. I just have my 2 17 round mags, and that's if I'm only carrying the 217. Normally, I'll also carry this one back here, which is a 27 round. I'll carry that with me somewhere too. I do know a guy named Bobby Yaga. Can I do a British zesty Bobby Yaga? I can do an Australian and kind of like a South African. British is kind of hard because there's so many different dialogues and accents for British that a lot of times I get it mixed up. It's not like Russian or Spanish or French where you can speak English and you just have kind of their lisp, is how I'd word it. So British can be a little hard. I do like, okay, so like I was in high school, I did like theater stuff. I played football and I did shop and other things, but one of the things I did was I wanted to do theater because I wanted to learn how to do accents, at least a little bit, rudimentary accents, and I took Spanish and French and things like that. But plus it was a good way to meet girls. So British is really hard because there are so many different British dialects. Like even just in London proper, there's like the Upper East Side, the Lower East Side, Central London, the Upper West Side, the Lower West Side. It's kind of like Texas. How in Texas there are people that, like, depending on if you're from Dallas, Austin, or San Antonio, they know because of the way you speak. So, but let me see. Let me give me a second. Let me get into the right mindset. So if you want to, I can't remember which part of London it is. And my mom lived in London. She was like a nanny in London for like a year, so she can do a really good British accent. Hey Simba, I'm doing all right. So give me a second. It'd be like, my word, good sir. See, that there is already mixing two accents. The way I said sir, that's like Lower East Side, but like Downton Abbey style is like Upper West Side. So it's like, hi Mackenzie. Let me see if I can say something. It's like, I am afraid your attitude is going to need rather large adjustment in order for you to fit into this level of sophistication that we have on this channel. Now, you have a very important choice that you must make as you, a viewer, approach what we do here. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We take ourselves just seriously enough that we understand how to make fun of one another in a way that is not only disrespectful, but is also enjoyable to the ear. So like that's like an Upper West Side, whereas somebody who's from like the Lower East Side would be like, oi, ain't got much of a thing inside of me, eh? You done push your luck one too many times. So like it's dumb, but there is a difference between the two sounds. And I'm like way butchering and over exaggerating it. Did I hear Trump address and talk about the big beautiful bill? So maybe he will pressure Vance to do something about the short act in HBA. Maybe, but it's got to be more than just that. They've got to go in and they have to put the original verbiage to remove those items from the NFA entirely. So, thank you, Mackenzie. I'm glad that you love the channel. I hope that it makes you laugh. I hope that it offends you just a little bit, because it's good for your soul to be a little bit offended, because then you can get over it and move on. It's called resiliency. The world would be a better place with a little bit of resiliency. Yeah, I was gonna say technically he can override whatever he wants, but if it's not made into law, that's the problem. Things still have to be made into law for them to be. I will stream tonight. I'm hoping to stream earlier than I did last night. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to read something to you guys. U.S. Okay. I agree. Someone that has that type of power probably needs to be elected, not just appointed. Mackenzie, I usually stream every day. I have a stream that goes every day. I do an overnight stream that's just ASMR and sounds. Yeah, you were talking about that. I'm glad that you're going to get to spend time with him. So, but I'm gonna read to you, okay? The Facebook page, U.S. Democratic Socialists. Don't ask me what that means or how it works. I've tried, and they said that obviously my name is suiting because Moab's nice, dude. I like Moab. Moab is amazing. All right. So on the U.S. Democratic Socialists, again, I don't understand why they're called that. I think it's just one of those made-up names, kind of like they them, that they use because they're stupid. Exactly. But they're Democratic Socialists. Probably in like 6 or 7 hours, Mackenzie. Okay, so this is what they posted. They said, only caring about your own rights is the exact attitude that will make you lose them. And I said, I actually agree with that. I think that we should care about other people's rights. We absolutely should care about other people's rights. So I said, that's why everyone should care about removing all restrictions to the Second Amendment. It's the only way to completely defend your and others' rights from those that would rule over you. And I thought certainly presenting it in this way, like there would be a semblance of, yeah, so probably between 9 and 10, Mackenzie. Probably between 9 and 10. And I received 4 thumbs ups and 1 laughy face. And I saw the laughy face, and so I said, what's so funny, Mr. Levi? Because it was a guy named Levi. And then this other guy got on and said, below average Utah dad. I don't know, Cookie. Well, Mackenzie, if you're here, it would be wonderful. We like it when people come onto the stream. Cookie, the best thing that could happen to this country in regards to taxes is to completely eliminate all tax exemptions, to completely eliminate all income tax, and go to only tariffs or, and I don't necessarily like the idea of tariffs, or go to a consumption tax. And that way, people that spend money spend more in taxes. And it's that simple. People that have less money, they tend to have to spend less, and therefore they'll pay less in taxes. And anyone who complains about it, be like, spend less money and you'll spend less in taxes. It's that simple. Keep all of your paycheck, and then only when you buy things. Now, will that ever happen? No, because the government doesn't want to spend money and have to pay taxes on what they spend and then have it reported. And so kind of going back to this thing from the Democratic Socialists, this dude named Peter said, below average Utah dad, what if guns make you feel physically ill? What then? And someone hearted his comment. And I said, Peter Britnell, I would ask how you plan to defend others and their rights and tell you to get over it. Do you feel physically ill, or are you diagnosed as physically ill? I just don't like guns or violence. They make me feel ill. It is some sort of psychological issue with me. Okay? Then you probably won't be defending or fighting for anyone else's rights. You're going to be subject to the people that do the fighting. That's the world we live in. There are the fighters, and there are those who are subjugated. Literally, I just don't like guns or violence. They make me feel ill. It is some sort of psychological issue with me. Then you don't get to make any of the decisions. I'm sorry. Get over that shit or accept the consequences of not being able to fight. I don't know how often I have to make that statement. There are two people in this world. There are the people that fight, and there are the people that do whatever the people that can fight say. Exactly. Yeah. It's like the person who said, somebody else commented on one of my things, and they were like, a real man doesn't need guns. Dude, dude. When the stakes are such that someone has decided, I'm going to fight that guy. Like, woe be, like I will de-escalate, I will de-escalate. Somebody can walk up to me like, I'm going to kick your blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that's not necessary. What's going on? What did I do? I don't think that's necessary. Let's probably don't go there. I would recommend we not do that. That's not something I'm interested in. I don't need to prove anything. Yep, you're the better man. Go for it. Go Goliath. You are stronger. Yep, you don't need to prove to me or anybody else that you're stronger. Go for it. I'm good. Good. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, that's still working. Okay. I don't know what that was. Yeah. Okay, Mackenzie. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. Yeah. Like I said, anybody if you've ever been in one of those situations, and I've been in more of those situations than I care to admit. TC, we're just talking about, whatever. I was talking about some stuff from my social media. So I told you guys, I've said I have like X, and I have Signal, and I have Instagram and Facebook. I have all those socials. And my Facebook, my X, and my YouTube are my biggest ones. And somebody commented on one of my Facebook posts, or I commented on a Facebook post that I saw, and I agreed, even though I don't agree with the Facebook page, I agreed with what they said. So I said that I agreed, and then I explained why I agreed. And then people started saying things like, well, you just, like, yeah. Just people being kind of dumb. And then they're saying, that I'm a warmonger, and I'm like, and I just don't I don't get it. That sounds yummy. I had a chopped cheese for lunch at about noon. Ooh. Yes, it is 14. Well, I mean, you were here earlier, but yeah. Yeah, Cookie, I recommend. I recommend if people are talking about something that you don't like, I recommend just go away from them. Just ignore them. I'm watching a dude talking about chuck eye steaks. Yeah. Hold on. Government's messaging me. Ribeyes for dinner last night, so I'm having half the extra ribeye and some eggs now. Yeah. These kinds of people don't understand concept. I remember seeing footage from the Capitol Hill autonomous zone with one of the residents screaming at a paramedic to save one of their own, despite the fact they drove out all first responders. Yeah. So my stepsister lives in Seattle, Vortex, and she's very left leaning, but she also hates Seattle because she feels like it's not safe, and that if anything ever happened to her, she wouldn't get help because, because they can't get anything done. All right, I'm gonna have to get off pretty soon. My wife's headed home. She's feeling sick, so. Oh. Yeah. I wonder why they can't get anything done. Hold on just a second. Nick from Big Timber Lodge just went live. I'm gonna go check out what's going on his. He's testing some new software.
See if this is, shows that I'm streaming. Okay, but says we are live with 4 viewers. We're just testing stuff out. I don't have the ability to see any sort of chat right now. Actually, I might have chat. Where is it? Testing out obs right now. There he is. Okay. There's our dude. Below average Utah dad. How's the YouTube volume versus my volume? Because I want to be able to play content and not drown myself out. If I turn it up to 50%, that's 50% right there. Push it up to where my volume is. Right here, this is where my voice volume is.
Sorry, I'm helping guys. I'm helping him troubleshoot his stuff.
Streamlabs, I've been getting digital noise in my too loud over now. Okay, so the volume having issues with this microphone setup where it's not loud, and I've got the microphone turned up to 100%. Yeah, I'll just throw it in the desktop like that. I'll just throw it in the desktop audio. But how is the volume of my microphone? Because I find that the volume of my microphone is not nearly as loud as like any other streamers that I see. And sometimes I get like a digital noise or popping in the background, or like, you know, a weird, it almost sounds like Sirius XM, and I should not be getting that with this setup. And so I'm trying to figure out how to get more volume without utilizing like fake gain, because I can go into this and say, hey, let's increase the dB here. Hey everybody. I have below average Utah data. I'm using a Vocaster, so I've got a Shure SM7B plugged into a Dynamite stick, which is plus 27 dB, and then it goes into a Vocaster 1, and then the Vocaster is 49 dB, so I have a lot of power coming out of this microphone, but if I turn up the gain on the Vocaster, I get really distorted. I just turned up the artificial gain in OBS, and I don't like doing that because I feel like that creates a weird audio. I want my voice to sound dynamic, I want it to sound clear, I want there to be a lot of bass, I want there to be a lot of boom, and I want it so that, you know, my streams are as loud as like anybody else's streams. Because one of the things that really pisses me off about what's been going on is I don't feel like I'm able to get enough volume into my stream from my microphone, so I have to turn down, you know, like the YouTube content, Spotify content, when we're watching news, I have to turn it way down, just so it's not overpowering my voice. But then what ends up happening is that the commercial pops up, and people have to have the volume turned so loud for my stream that when a commercial comes on, it deafens them. So I'm trying to figure out how to get more power into my stream so it's louder, if that makes sense, and I don't know how to do that. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
Sorry guys, I'm trying to help Nick out in Colorado.
Okay, so you said the plus 10 was sounding good in OBS without any sort of digital noise. Okay, but yeah, I'm just trying to do, you know, this up, because I can turn up here, I'll turn up my, let me pull up my Vocaster. What is this? If I turn up my mic level here, you're going to notice that I start to get distortion in my voice. Hey everybody, this is Nicholas Rogers, and even if I'm just getting into the yellows, okay, so now how does it sound when I turn up the Vocaster? Because the Vocaster has this auto gain feature, which is like its own soundboard, and it says that this is turned up way too high. Now you can see that I pushed that down, Vocaster, so okay, that was too much, and that's the soundboard that this microphone is plugged into in the preamp. So you're saying go to plus 5 or 10 odds. Advanced property. Let's go to 10. Hey everybody, this is Nicholas Rogers with the Big Timber Lodge, and we are pushing into the red right now, which is crazy because when I used to use the Yeti Blue, I never pushed into the red like this, and it always sounded louder and to me more dynamic, but I got a lot of digital noise when I use the Yeti Blue. So I'm trying to, like, you know, figure out how to get that dynamic, that bass, the volume into the Shure SM7B, but not have any sort of digital noise like I used to get with the Yeti. So how's it sound now that I cranked up the just try 7. That is so clean and natural sounding. Try just +7. Okay, I'll try +7. Oop, oh, cancel. Advanced. Alright, turning it down to 7. Hey everybody, this is Nicholas Rogers with the Big Timber Lodge, coming back at you live from the basement battle cat here in the beautiful state of Colorado, where we are trying to figure out how to get the best quality content for all of you out there from the Centennial State. Because I know you guys love old big timber. Let's see. Let's do this too. What happens when I say crank this up to 11? Oh, no, I just affected my exposure. I had that at -40. Let's go up just a bit with the Vocaster. Alright, let's see. The Vocaster. Alright. Hey everybody, this is Nicholas Rogers. Nice. Okay, so I went up just a little bit with the Vocaster. Did that give distortion into my voice though? Because I don't want any sort of distortion. I don't want any distortion, I don't want any digital noise, I don't want any digital sibilance, I don't want, popping, that pop rock sound, or like, I need a de-esser, but I don't need a de-esser because you get like that digital compression noise, like the mics having to work too hard. Okay. How's it sound with the Vocaster? Should I turn it back down? Do the auto gain on this again? See how things sound. Okay. What about with this is so the Vocaster has this auto gain because it has a soundboard built into it that detects when I'm starting to get compression from the microphone or clipping or any sort of distortion. And this is the setting that it says. It got so quiet. Okay, what about now? Well, while I'm doing the auto gain, it gets quiet. It's not going to be. What about now after the auto gain is complete? How does it sound now with my voice? Should I turn up the volume on the OBS gain? Should I turn that up? Okay, we're just doing some testing in 4K right now. Trying to figure this out. What's going on? We're testing out my microphone, trying to figure out if OBS is going to be a better choice than Streamlabs Premium, which I've been streaming on. But below average Utah Dad, the question is though, is my volume, the delay on the chat is a bit, yeah, that's, I don't know how to fix that. I've got 1 gig internet download and I'm uploading at like 300 gigabytes. So I'll have to look into it. I mean, OBS is similar to Streamlabs, but it's open source, whereas Streamlabs is owned by Logitech. And so I was told by Sweetwater to try OBS versus Streamlabs because the Logitech filters that are in Streamlabs could be affecting my microphone and my volume levels. So, I don't know. Are you guys getting any sort of like low hum? Are you getting background noise from my microphone when I'm talking? Yeah, that makes sense. It's using moderation and cleaning to make sure that isn't offensive. Yeah, that makes sense. One of the things we're doing here too is trying to figure out what's a good volume level if I have music on in the background. So this is at -40 right here, like we were talking about. So how is my audio over the desktop audio here below average Utah Dad? Also, I was in Utah a couple weekends ago. I went to Provo. Fell in love with that place. How's it sound? Okay. Hey Walter, we're just doing some audio, video checks. Is it streaming in 4K? Actually, I don't think it does stream in 4K. It streams in like 1080p or something. I don't know. So, but it's supposed to be streaming in 4K. We're just testing out some stuff. It says I have an excellent connection right now. Right here. Desktop is kind of quiet right now. Interesting. Okay, let's go back and play this again. Okay. What about if I push desktop up to like 50%, like right here? How does it sound now with my voice? Yeah, I did that. So I set it to 4K out, you know, low hiss over the background music. Hans May says I can stream in 4K. There's a low hiss over the background music. Let me mute my microphone, Walter. You tell me if that hiss goes away. So I have the microphone muted for a second. Alright, pull up your live stream. Okay, hold on.
I'm not hacking. I'm helping Nick from Big Timber Lodge. He's a guy that I've connected with and made some.
Okay.
He's a pretty cool guy. He's a big pro 2A guy and does a lot.
Where are you streaming at right now, brother? Are you on YouTube? Alright. Okay.
So, I don't know if you can hear me right now, Nick, or if anybody else can hear me, but
I have your stream up.
Okay.
I'll leave it up to your stream.
So,
you
I-
have me in 4K on your side. That's cool.
yeah, I don't know if you can hear me or if anybody from your stream can hear me talking through, but it should be. You should have pretty good. I'm talking on just my iPhone, my spare iPhone. I stream from my iPhone, but it should be pretty clean audio. Say the names of the months. Just talk. What I want Nick to do is talk so that you can hear him talking over me and you can hear the difference between. It's Tristan, it's because of my mic.
I'm getting a little bit of digital noise on your end.
Yeah,
In my headset.
it's because I have an iPhone mic. It's just an iPhone. I don't have.
Say the names of the month. Okay. January,
That's-
February, March, April.
So people in the
May,
chat,
June,
listen to
July,
him talk
August, September,
and listen to me talk.
November, December.
Okay, so if you were interviewing somebody, that would be kind of the difference between like the sounds in an interview with having somebody on your stream. It would sound kind of like this. So that's the disparity difference and how it sounds. I can hear me. I'm a little bit quiet, but I think overall,
So I would need to turn your volume up. So let's have a look here. So go ahead and talk.
You were interviewing somebody.
Okay. And I have both of our volume levels roughly at the same thing.
The difference between like.
How
the
does
sound
his volume
in an
sound
interview
with my
having
volume?
somebody on your
If we
stream.
were interviewing each other right now, I know this is a weird way to do this,
Now
but
it
you can
sounds- I
see in
hear
my
you a little bit quiet.
you can see in my equalizers right here.
I think we're pretty good, Nick.
You know, pushing into the red, and then go ahead and talk. Average, you talk.
Yeah. Nick, I think that your sound settings are pretty good. It's gonna be more. I think the limitation here is more my equipment, not yours. I think your setting, if you are on OBS between -35 and -25 for when you interview people, I think you're set. I would keep it a little bit lower if you're gonna do just streaming a video,
How
-35.
does it sound when you're hearing it over the stream on
Nick,
my
I think
end?
that your sound.
It sounds your sound sounds amazing, Nick.
It's
Your
gonna
sound
be
sounds
more-
great.
I think the limitation here is more my equipment, not yours. I think you're setting, if you are on OBS between -35 and -25 for when you interview people, I think you're set. I would keep it a little bit lower if you're gonna do just streaming a video, -35.
So I've got you at -20 right now.
Yeah.
It sounds, your sound sounds amazing.
Okay.
Your sound sounds great.
Okay. So I'm interested to see if this OBS produces a better audio, because I can't hear myself because I don't have a monitor on. I go crazy if I try to have a monitor on while I'm streaming.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to see if OBS is actually able to
Yeah.
get a better audio, because I increased the bit rate to 160. I found out YouTube you can only do audio bit rate at 160, and you can have the video bit rate up to 51,000. So I have the video bit rate set to 30,000 right now, and the audio set to 160, which is like, but the big thing was when I was using Streamlabs, I would get like digital noise from my microphone, and it wasn't all the time, but it was just like on certain words, and it almost sounded like my microphone was struggling. And that's coming from a dude that does streaming all the time. He said that's what it sounded like. And I did research, and I found out that Streamlabs does not like if you're using Realtek audio sound mixers. And unfortunately for me, I just bought a brand new computer to put together to try to fix all this, and it comes with Realtek audio like sound card built into the motherboard. And so when I talked to the folks at Stillwater today, they said that the Streamlabs is actually owned by Logitech, and Logitech has their own built-in equalizers and settings, and that it can actually interfere if you have other, audio engineering going on. So I'm wondering if OBS is going to provide me with a cleaner audio with a much more dynamic sounding voice, kind of like I used to get with the Yeti Blue. The Yeti Blue just had a whole bunch of digital noise, but Yeti is owned by Logitech. So the Yeti Blue sound processing software worked with the Streamlabs very well, and it made my voice louder, it made it cleaner, it gave it more dynamic, more boom, more bass. But I'm not using the Yeti Blue anymore, I'm using the Shure.
Yeah. So, Nick, if you can hear me, I was just listening to everything you said. So, with any type of
looks good, sounds good, also that
streaming service
on motherboards, absolutely,
or equipment,
it seems they definitely do. And from what I was reading today is that
I'm trying not to interrupt him.
if you're using Streamlabs, you can get digital noise if Realtek software is being used, and you have to shut it off. But it's on my Novo, and I don't know how to shut
Nick,
it off.
you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
So
so
with any type of streaming service,
sorry.
equipment,
I'm gonna mute your stream real quick. So what will happen is everybody's equipment, when they build stuff, it's a little bit proprietary. The advantage of OBS is because it's more of an open source tool. What will happen is people from different regions, open source, how it works, they'll look for ways to add features based on equipment that might be more proprietary. So that's why I would say the OBS is probably a good choice. With your Realtek or with your you're using, or you have Realtek on your Mobo, but you had Logitech with some of your old equipment. When you're using all Logitech equipment, it's great. It's amazing. Logitech makes great stuff, but it's kind of like when you use Apple stuff with not Apple stuff, or mix and match like Apple and Android. It starts to not work as well when you're mixing and matching, unless you're using something like this, like OBS, which is more open source. So I think that you using OBS with the equipment you have is definitely the wise decision.
Logitech makes great stuff, but it's kind of like when you use Apple stuff with not Apple stuff, or mix and match like Apple and Android. It starts to not work as well when you're mixing and matching, unless you're using something like this, like OBS, which is more open source.
Okay.
So I think that you using OBS with the equipment you have is definitely the wise decision.
Okay. Interesting. So I just turned up the main volume on this Realtek mixer. I don't want any 96,000 hertz at 24 bits. Okay, that's what it's. Oh yeah, that's from the motherboard. Let's see.
But I think you've got a really good balance of sound clarity between whoever you might be interviewing or who you might be streaming or what you might be streaming and yourself.
Did that increase the volume at all when I adjusted that?
I didn't notice a huge difference in volume on through your stream of me or of you. I didn't notice a huge difference in volume.
But I think you've got a really good balance of sound clarity between whoever you might be interviewing or who you might.
And again, that's coming from I'm streaming directly from an old like iPhone 9. So I'm going to be more the limitation in this test. But your equipment sounds really good, and I think there's a really good balance. I would roll with this and then adjust little teeny tweaks as needed.
Man, this is crazy because now I'm
Again, that's coming from I'm streaming directly from iPhone.
right. Do you know?
So I'm going to be more limitation.
Yeah. Okay.
I would roll with this and then adjust little teeny tweaks.
So if you're saying adjust little teeny tweaks, do you think I need to adjust the bowcaster, or do I need to adjust the gain from obs? Anything that you would suggest right now while I have you on?
Yeah.
I would leave the Vocaster how it is, Nick, and only use OBS at this point. I think OBS, because it's going through your GPU, it's going through the motherboard, it's using your bigger power supply, it's using the extra RAM, it's using the resources of your desktop, and it's going to be cleaner, and it's going to be able to use those AI resources more than whatever's built into the Vocaster board. The Vocaster board is built specific to it, but having all of the extra resources that your computer has is going to do more. So using the OBS software is probably going to be a safer bet for sound.
Can you send this for youth court camp?
Desktop, and it's going to be cleaner, and it's going to be able to use those AI resources more.
Little youth court girl saving the world.
All
All right, love you.
Love you.
Do you suggest any sort of like equalizer plugin that I can download for this?
Can you give me a second to do that?
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, Nick. Can you repeat your question? My daughter asked me a question right as you were asking her. She's trying to do a youth court thing.
Sorry, Nick, can you repeat your question? My daughter asked me a question.
It was, do you suggest any plugins for, obs that would do like equalizer stuff where I could do audio adjustments?
I don't have any recommendations for OBS for plugins. There are some, honestly, like, because of the nature of YouTube, there's some really great resources that you can follow on YouTube and see that people that they specialize in just showing how to absolutely tweak out and customize OBS to do whatever you need. That would be my recommendation, is to check those resources, because they're going to do way better step by step. I just understand the fundamentals of OBS and how it affects things as a software on hardware versus built-in proprietary information and capabilities.
People that they specialize in just showing how to absolutely tweak out and customize OBS to do whatever you need, that would be my recommendation, is to check those resources, because they're going to do way better step by step. I just understand the fundamentals of OBS and how it affects things as a software on hardware versus built-in proprietary information.
Okay, because like the Vocaster itself has, I have this enhance on, which gives me a little bit of bass, take the mids out, a little bit of treble, and it has a compressor built in, and it has a rumble reduction, so like the sound of my fans on my computers my, AC unit, you're not going to hear those hopefully in the background when I'm not talking.
Yeah, I don't hear any excess white noise at all on your system at all, which is really good because I know that sometimes my folks tell me that they can hear it depending on what I'm running. I should just give you my phone number so that you can just call me next time. Or give you my WhatsApp or whatever.
Are you not getting a hum or any sort of... Are you hearing any sort of digital noise, compression,
No.
or sibilance?
No compression, no digital noises, no hums, no hisses. Your stuff coming out of my 4K screen and my speakers sound really good.
No compression, no digital noises, no hums, no hisses. Your stuff coming out of my 4K screen and my speakers sound really good.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess if that's the case, I'm gonna go back and play. I'll go back and let this finish processing after I end the stream, and then watch it, listen to it myself, see where I'm my biggest critic. I'm the hardest person on myself. Nobody else is as hard as I am on myself. And see how it sounds, and if I'm happy with it, then I guess I'm gonna have to just rebuild the whole Big Timber Lodge streaming platform on OBS, and get rid of Streamlabs, because if it's got good audio quality without digital noise and it's got enough volume, that's my biggest complaint. I think that the camera looks good. I think that it's just going to be a pain in the ass to rebuild everything on OBS.
Dude, I feel you. It's one of the reasons why I haven't, since I went over and started using my laptop for everything, I haven't switched over to OBS. I've just been streaming directly from my iPhone because I don't want to have to rebuild all kinds of stuff in OBS. But I know that that's going to be better in the long run. If you ever want any help with it, I mean, you probably are going to do better than I am with it, but if you ever want any help with it, just shoot me an email. It's just the name of the channel, belowaverageutahdad@gmail.com, and we'll exchange some contact information, and then definitely the next time you're in Utah, we need to get together.
If you ever want any help with it, I mean, you probably are going to do better than I am with it, but if you ever want any help with it, just shoot me an email. It's just the name of the channel, belowaverageutahdad@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And we'll exchange some contact information. And then definitely the next time we're in Utah.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. And we want to go back and visit Provo again and see Austin with Reloading Weatherby. Now that we know that my 6mm GT rifle is shooting well, but the crazy thing is with my Streamlabs, I've got like 30 scenes built for Streamlabs that I use for if it's just myself, or if I have one other guest, or if I have multiple guests, and I'm gonna have to rebuild all of those in OBS if this is actually a better choice.
There might be a way for you to use OBS to just grab that window from Streamlabs. So you may not have to rebuild it. You may just have to build a rule in OBS to look for that window, and then you can play it. So if you've got multiple monitors up, you can have Streamlabs going and OBS running. Don't stream from Streamlabs, just run those clips, and then have OBS build a window around that specific area, and you may be able to just pull it directly from that. And I've seen people my son does that on his video games. He'll stream through a card onto his desktop, and then he'll just build OBS around his little desktop card. He'll build a little window around it, and that's how he streams from like his Nintendo Switch or whatever it is he's doing.
Build a window around a specific area.
Yeah.
I've still gonna do my son does that on his
I got you.
video games. He'll stream through a card onto his desktop, and then he'll just build OBS around his little desktop card. He'll build more and more.
Alex the Truck, what's up, brother? Welcome, Wolverine. Wolverines! It's funny, Alex, you say it sounds good in your truck, man, and I know you drive trucks, so you probably got a good sound system. That's actually one of the places in my truck that I drive. I've got, you know, like years ago when I was in the military, I spent $7,500 building out a stereo in my truck, and it's not like super bass and
Egregious.
you know, concert quality speakers with a beautiful sound stage that's presented in it. It's one of the reasons why I refuse to get rid of my truck. I've got over 157,000 miles in it. And that's actually the place where if I play back some of my live streams, if sometimes I don't catch everything, and I play it in my truck, that's where I hear a lot of the digital noise because the speakers are so good.
But I think it sounds good, Nick. I think you should roll with it. I'll try to hop on your next stream and give you some feedback. And like I said, just shoot me an email, and we'll connect.
Dude, I appreciate you coming on and helping out with the test. Hey, egregious blunder. You've been extra spicy in the comments lately. You've been funny. Yeah. No, and also the two dudes are the Wolverines and the Wild. Former Leos. Okay.
I'll try to hop on the next stream and give you some feedback. Like I said, just shoot me the back.
Yeah. Absolutely. I appreciate that, guys. So, until next time, everybody, Colorado, you know the business. Let's get to work. Woo.
That was pretty fun. So, yeah. I hope that helped, Nick. I don't know if you're still watching mine, but yeah, I hope that helped. And that was fun. That was good to be able to do that. I actually went to school for that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and end my stream, guys. Everybody that's still watching. Yeah, anytime, Nick, dude. I've talked and chat with you on. I can definitely help with that. I have one or two. I have 3 laptops right now. My 2 work laptops, and then I have a wall in my garage of like 8 desktops. Yeah, I'll shoot you an email, bud. And yeah, we'll make a connection. We'll make some things happen. But yeah, I need to go out there because I've told like Teddy and Alicia that I need to go out there and do like a range day with everybody when they do it and try to shoot some footage with you guys because it's a lot closer to go to Colorado than it is to go out to Ohio where a bunch of the other guys that I follow on YouTube are at. They're all in like Ohio and Texas and stuff. So yeah. I-68. Yeah, I will write that down and I will try to make that happen. That'll be fun. So, and I'll bring some of my soon to be illegal in your state stuff. Because, yeah. All right. Well, thanks. I'm glad I was able to help, Nick. And I will, I'll try to tune into your next thing. And hopefully we're able to get together with the friends out in Colorado. I care a lot about what happens there because I know that a lot of it will affect what happens here. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. It was fun. Love you guys. Guns.